Multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. So when you are just multiplying fractions, you're going to multiply straight across the numerators and straight across the denominators. There is no need for a common denominator. Okay, so no need for a common denominator. Common denominator. Okay, so you just multiply straight across, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 3 times 2 was 6, 5 times 3 was 15. Of course, you need to simplify. So 6 divided by 3 gives you 2, and 15 divided by 3 gives you 5. Simple as that. Okay, just multiply straight across. So 1/4 times 5 is 6. Straight across. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 6 is 24. That answer is simplified, so that one's done. Now we go to the next part, and the next part says you're multiplying fractions with whole numbers. So let's see what that looks like. Now 2 is your whole number times 3/4. Well, you can't multiply just a whole number with a fraction. They have to both be in fraction form. So in order to do that, you just write your whole number as that number over 1. So whatever that whole number is, integer, you put it over 1. So I have over here. Now it's ready to go. 2 over 1 times 3/4. Multiply straight across and straight across the denominator. So when you do that, 2 times 3 was 6. 1 times 4 is 4. But we have to simplify our fraction. So divide 2 out of both, you get 3 over 2. But we don't want our answer as an improper fraction. Okay, so since it's an improper, so that's improper, we're going to have to divide. So we would divide, 3 goes inside, 2 outside. 2 goes into 3 once. Once you get to your decimal point, that's when you're going to stop and you'll make your mixed number. So 1 is up at the top, so 1 is your whole number, and 1/2. So there's your simplified answer. All right, so now we look at the next one, and we have 4/7 times a whole number of 6. So first thing we need to do is make that whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now we have 4/7 times 6 over 1, which is ready to multiply straight across the numerators, 4 times 6, and straight across the denominator, 7 times 1. You'll end up with 24 over 7, which again is an improper fraction. So then that means we're going to go ahead and divide. 24 will go inside. 7 will go on the outside. 7 will go into 24 3 times. Subtract. Okay, once you get to your decimal, stop dividing, and you'll end up with the big number of 3 and 3/7. So there's your simplified final answer. Okay, one last type of multiplying, which would be multiplying with mixed numbers. So if you're multiplying with mixed numbers, anytime you're doing calculations with mixed numbers, the very first thing you want to do is rewrite your mixed numbers as improper fractions. We did that the other day, which was using checkma. Okay, how does checkma work if we forgot? Remember, check, you multiply these two numbers and then you add the numerator. So for this one, it's going to be 3 times 4, which is 12. 12 plus 1 makes 13. So you've got 13, and you keep that same denominator 4 that it originally had, times 3/8. 3/8 was already a fraction, so you leave it be. Now I have my two fractions ready to calculate. So multiplying fractions straight across. 13 times 3 will give you 39, and 4 times 8 will give you 32. Now I have an improper fraction, so we divide. 39 on the inside, 32 on the outside. It would go in one time, and you would end up with 1 and 7 over 32. There's your simplified final answer turning it into a mixed number. And so the last one we have here, 2 3/5 times 1 5/7. Both of them are mixed numbers, so I'm going to have to change both of those. Do my check ma, multiply these two numbers, add the numerator. Multiply these two numbers, add the numerator. So when I do that, I will end up with 2 times 5, it's 10. 10 plus 3 gives you 13. Keep the original denominator, so 13 over 5 for the first mixed number. And then 1 5/6, 1 times 6 is 6, plus 5 is 11. Keep that 6 denominator, so now your second mixed number turned into 11 over 6. Now that is ready to multiply. 13 times 11 will give you 144, and 5 times 6 will give you 30. So 143 over 30 is going to need to be changed into a mixed number. So 143, the cowboy goes inside, the 30 outside. 30 goes into 14, it doesn't, so 30 goes into 143 4 times, and that would be 120. Subtract, and you're left with 23. Once you get to that decimal, remember stop and pick up your numbers. So 4 is your big number, 23 over 30. There's your final answer. So, couple things. Remember, multiplying with just fraction to fraction, straight across. If you're multiplying with whole numbers, you need to make sure that those whole numbers are put over 1. Then you'll have fraction to fraction, and you could multiply straight across. And then the last one, if you're multiplying with mixed numbers, you need to make sure those mixed numbers are turned into improper fractions using your check ma method. And then once they are fraction to fraction, you can multiply straight across numerators, straight across denominators. Last thing, if your answer comes out to be an improper fraction at the end, you do have to change it into a mixed number. All right, good luck.